Hello everyone, today I'm going to be installing this carbon fiber steering wheel on my FA5 over here. I got the steering wheel from Hybrid Retrofits. So I went with carbon fiber and then Alcantara for the material and red stitching to match the black and red theme of the interior. I already went ahead and took out the little trim pieces here. This is where we're going to be putting the volume and cruise control buttons. I went ahead and took it off beforehand just so I knew what I was doing, but just to help you guys out, I'm going to do it all over again. Okay, so normally it comes with this piece in there, but if you want to have your button controls, then you're gonna have to take it out and swap the OEM stuff into this one. So to do that, you're gonna have to take out these 4 screws, and once you get those out, this black piece on the back, the trim cover, will come off, and that'll reveal the screws to take off this black trim or the carbon fiber trim on here, and also it'll reveal the screws that hold the trim pieces in. Okay, so once you take out the 4 screws in the front and you pop the back piece off, you'll see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 more screws that you need to unscrew. These big ones on top are to release the carbon trim, and the small one on the back is one of the screws that holds in these pieces. So the trim goes in there like that. You're going to have one little screw on the bottom here, and then there's going to be one screw holding this in that you can't see until you take off the carbon trim. Okay, so with that all done, you'll be able to take off the trim and then do the same thing on the stock steering wheel and swap over the buttons. So now let's go ahead and start on actually putting this new stuff into the FA5. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do inside the car now is come over to the side and unscrew the little torque screws that are inside here. There's going to be one on each side, and once we get that out, it should allow us to move the airbag around. So these are T30 screws, so Torx, but if you don't have a set of Torx heads, then you can use a number 4 Allen key, and it took it out just fine. They're not on too tight, but now that they're off, the airbag comes right out, and then from here we can unplug it. Now you can unplug the airbag from the bottom. There's a little trim piece. If you pull that out, you can unclip it from the bottom, but I'm not going to bother doing that because we could just pull it out from the front as well. So with this out, we have this black connector. This black connector is for the horn, so I'm going to go ahead and unplug that real quick. Okay, so with the black one disconnected, we have the yellow airbag one, and we could just pull this wire out of the little bracket there to give us some more slack. And now we can go ahead and just unplug it. And if you don't know how to unplug it, you push down on this black little lever piece and that'll loosen it or unclip it. Alright, so once you pull down on that little black piece, you can just slide the 2 pieces right out from each other, and that'll allow you to take out the airbag. And now we just have this connector left right here, this blue one. Just has a little tab in the middle. Pull it out. Okay, that's done. I'm also going to take out all the wiring from the little black pieces. Okay, and then we have a number 14 bolt right in the middle. Alright, so there is one more connector. I believe this is only if you have the navigation model, but there's a green one in the bottom left corner. I'm just going to ignore that until I take out the steering wheel. That way I have a little bit more room in there to unclip it. But in the middle you have a 14. I'm going to use an impact wrench so I don't have to worry about the steering wheel really turning. But you want to have it aligned straight in the middle, and then go ahead and bust this bolt out. I'm gonna go ahead and take it all the way out. Alright, so now maybe the most dangerous part about this is actually removing the steering wheel from the column. It's on there, it'll be like kind of stuck on there, so you're gonna have to yank the steering wheel towards you in order to get it off. When you're doing this, make sure you're careful, because obviously if you're pulling on it really hard and all of a sudden it breaks loose, you're gonna end up hitting yourself in the face. Okay, so I just got it out. What I ended up doing was like put my forearm behind the steering wheel and I just tapped it forward while holding this with my other hand to prevent it from flying out into my face. So after that, you might have this little yellow connector in the little bracket thing if you didn't take it out. That's easy. You just end up pulling this little wire and feeding it through behind there to get it out. And then, like I said, we still have this green connector. Okay, so you actually don't need to take out the green one. That goes to the harness. It doesn't actually connect to the steering column at all. But now I'm going to take out all the bolts, or the screws, sorry, and put my steering wheel controls onto the new one. Alright, so we're going to have to take this, and maybe these two in the middle here. I'm just going to go ahead and take those out. I think that's all we got to do on the front side. And then we're going to pop out the gray trim. Thankfully the new one comes with black trim. Actually, I like that a lot more. It's going to go really well with the rest of the interior. Alright, so on the back side there are 6 screws. It's said the same on both sides, symmetrical. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then same on the other side, so a total of 6. And then once those are out, I believe we should be able to pull this off. Okay, so actually I'm not able to get it off because there's one more screw that I need to take out. That one right there, that goes to the steering wheel harness. Or, I'm sorry, the navigation control harness. Okay, so I took that screw out and then everything just fell off. Now, let's take out the gray trim around the buttons, and we should be able to just pop the buttons out. One side. Alright, I think the steering wheel thing's holding me back again. I don't really know, and I don't really care about the steering wheel buttons, so I'm just going to keep pulling on it. Alright, so I got it off. I actually just had to push from the back side. I pushed the steering wheel little bezel thing in, and it just popped right off. And now we can see the 2 screws, just like on the other steering wheel, that we had to remove to get the buttons out. Alright, so with the 2 screws removed, Here we have the buttons and the harness. I don't know where I'm going. Alright, so all we have to do now is put the buttons in place, screw them down, and then put all the trim on and so on. Alright, so now all the buttons are on. Putting together the steering wheel that you get is a lot easier than if you were to do the same things on the stock SI steering wheel. I don't know why the stock one has a whole bunch of more screws on the back, but it does. So putting the stuff onto the new one is actually very easy. Now all we need to do is put it back on the car. Alright, so now we have to put the steering wheel back onto the hub, and first thing you want to do is make sure that you put the airbag clip or the harness thing through the hole on the through this hole on the steering wheel. Otherwise, if it ends up on one of the other holes on that side, it's going to be dangling out and you're going to have to take off the steering wheel again. So make sure you feed it through that hole where all the rest of the wires are, and then you can go ahead and slide it on. Alright, so I went ahead and slid it back in. Like I said, make sure you put the yellow harness through the hole, and now we'll go ahead and just put the bolt back in there. Alright, so I got everything plugged in, and now we have to run this yellow wire behind this little black bracket here. That way it stays out of the way and we can place it in. These wires also have little routing pieces, and if you just slide those in there, they'll be out the way as well, just like that. Here we go. Alright, so I got the whole thing installed. Let's go ahead and see, make sure everything works. Alright, so the horn works fine. Now I am able to turn the steering wheel, which is good, so let me go ahead and start it. Alright. Seems like everything's working perfectly fine. Alright, so that's gonna be it for this video. Here's a better view of the steering wheel. Once again, this is from Hybrid Retrofits. You can find him on Instagram. He makes all types of custom steering wheels and headlights as well, and they're almost fully customizable. You can put whatever you want on there. You can put red stripe, you know, you can use different colors, different material. You can use leather, perforated leather, whatever you want. So if you're interested, go ahead and check it out. That's going to be it for this video. I have more stuff coming on the way, so subscribe, stay tuned if you're interested in my FA5, and hopefully this helps somebody out there. I am happy with the install. Didn't take too long, very easy, and look at how it matches perfectly with almost the entire interior. All I need now is black headliner, and the black and red theme will be fulfilled. It goes perfectly with the Mugen shift knob, and obviously the stock seats and my red door cards. I think soon I'll go with the black suede headliner and the black interior pieces, but that's going to be for later. This video is over with. Adios.